Hi, this is Brad Constantine, and this is a podcast recording of the Old Testament. Although this is not an official recording of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, every effort's been made to be as doctrinally accurate as possible. I'll be using for the text the Joseph Smith translation of the Old Testament, along with many commentaries from general authorities of the Church, BYU professors, Bible scholars, and others. This format will be very detailed, and so if you want a deep analysis of the Old Testament, you come to the right place. Thanks for your attendance. And welcome back. This will be for Isaiah chapter 6. And now, as you notice that I'm going through these, I'm interrupting myself quite often, aren't I? Right in the middle of verses and stuff to give kind of some commentaries or some additional insights. So anyway, that's what's going to happen throughout the book of Isaiah. Anyway, verse 1. In the year that King Uzziah died, which is about 740 BC, I saw also the Lord sitting upon a throne high and lifted up, or exalted, and his train, the hem of his garment, or the skirts thereof, the skirts of his robe, authority or power, Hebrew, the wake or light, filled the temple. Joseph Smith informs us that Isaiah's vision was connected to the experience wherein his calling and election were made sure, and he was given the gift of the second comforter, Jesus Christ. 2. Above it stood the seraphims. Each one had 6 wings, and twain he covered his face, or shows respect for God, and with twain he covered his feet, and with twain he did fly. The Book of Mormon renders seraphim the correct Hebrew plural form. In the Hebrew, the word veils is the same as wings, resulting in this interpreted meaning. Each one had 6 veils. With twain he concealed his presence, and with twain he concealed his location, and with twain he did fly. The wings or veils, then, are not literal. They are symbolic representations of powers possessed by the seraphim. Verse 3, and one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy. 3 times represents the very best, is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the posts of the door moved, or the foundations of the thresholds trembled, or shook, at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. Isaiah is trying to explain what it is like to see a vision of the celestial realms, but words don't do it justice. The prophet Joseph Smith said, could we read and comprehend all that has been written from the days of Adam on the relation of man to God and angels in a future state, we should know very little about it. Reading the experiences of others or the revelation given to them can never give us a comprehensive view of our condition and true relation to God. Knowledge of these things can only be obtained by experience through the ordinances of God set forth for that purpose. Could you gaze into heaven 5 minutes, you would know more than what by reading all that has ever been written on the subject. Verse 5, then said I, woe is unto me, for I am undone, or Hebrew, cut off, i.e., he was overwhelmed by his consciousness of the sins of himself and his people, completely overwhelmed, because I am a man of unclean lips, in other words, so imperfect. And I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips, for mine eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Then flew one of the seraphim unto me, having a live coal in his hand, symbolic of cleansing, which he had taken with the tongs from off the altar, or the atonement. And he laid it upon my mouth, and said, Lo, this atonement hath touched thy lips, and thine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin is purged. The result of the atonement, the Holy Ghost cleanses by fire, and makes us equal to our callings. This is like Isaiah seeing what he's going to be doing. So there's sort of a pause in his vision, and he sees what his mission is going to be, and that's what he's doing here. Verse 8, also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then I said, Here am I, send me. Because of the atonement, Isaiah has confidence to accept his call. Isaiah was sent to bear witness of Christ. Now in the premortal life, I think that we also, knowing what our missions were going to be, also said, Here am I, send me. Remembering that this earth is one of the most wicked of all of God's creations, and when God announced that we would be coming down and that we had certain things to do on the earth, I think we said also, Here am I, send me. Verse 9, and he said, Go and tell this people, Hear ye indeed, but they understood not, and see ye indeed, but they perceived not. These are those who are so spiritually dead as to not understand the words of the prophets. Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert, and be healed. Then said I, Lord, how long? The prophet wonders how long men will be so, and the Lord answers, until mortal man is no more. And he said, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate, as long as there are people, in other words. Verse 12, and the Lord have removed men and the Lord have removed men far away, Israel exiled into other nations, and there shall be a great forsaking in the midst of the land. But yet there shall be a tenth, or a remnant, and they, Israel, shall return, and shall be eaten, or pruned as by animals. Apostates are cut out, as a teil tree and as an oak, whose substance is in them. When they cast their leaves, so the holy seed shall be the substance thereof. I.e., like a tree, though its leaves be scattered, life and potential to produce seed yet remain in it. Some of Israel would survive the destruction and scattering. Israel may look dead, but there is still life in it. Anyway, that's the end of the chapter, and we'll see you next time. Bye.